Graham, how would you sum up the season so far? A little bit unlucky when you've hit an Everton when they were banging for Manchester United. Everyone thought you should have won it, and somehow you've come away with nothing.
Yeah, performances have been quite good, I would say. Chelsea, Manchester United, we were happy with the level of performance, disappointed with the points we got. That can happen in the Premier League, certainly when you play against that type of opposition. And like you said, I thought we played Everton on a good day when they were in a good moment. Probably wasn't as good as we played, but not so bad either. So we end up with 3 points over the 4 games, which we're a little bit disappointed with. But performances have been encouraging. Still some things we can improve, of course.
Are they starting to play the way you want them to play these days, but maybe more so than last season, Graham? Because everyone's been impressed with the way Brighton have started the season.
Well, I think everything's a process. Everything's it doesn't just you click your fingers and everything just goes how you want to, and you have to adapt to the players you have, and you have to adjust, and you have to learn together, make mistakes, and it's part of the process of developing and growing anything. So I think that's quite normal. We want to carry on improving. It's always the challenge in the Premier League, because sometimes you don't get the results that give you the confidence and the belief that what you're doing you're on the right path with, and that's why the Premier League is the ultimate challenge, I think.
Was it slightly frustrating against the Everton with a couple of goals coming from crosses?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought we contributed a little bit to our own downfall. Two balls in the box from set plays. The first one we didn't react well enough, quickly enough. The second one's it's against the top teams. They've got people that deliver it really well, and they've got big physicality that can make you suffer in moments. And we did that, and then the other 2 goals were probably our mistakes. Of course, they put you under pressure, but still, we need to be better in those situations. But again, Everton were in a good moment. They've got some good players. We have to be, on the one hand, realistic, and on the one hand, disappointed, because you want to keep your standards high and we want to carry on improving, and we felt that we could do better in that game.
What do you make of not having fans in the stadiums at the moment? Because obviously the various administrative people are trying to negotiate with the government and talking to them, but as a manager, what does it mean to you, and how disappointing is it to not have fans back in yet? Any fans back in yet?
It is very. I think it's one of those that last season we sort of accepted it, and you get on with it, and I suppose it's a bit new, so you can get your head around it for a certain bit, and then it carries on. You think, how long is it going to go on for? And you see other events starting to happen, and it's so difficult to know what the right thing to do is. But certainly, I think for everybody in football, the quicker that we get people back in the ground, the better, because I'm pretty sure it'll have a positive effect in terms of certainly from a mental well-being perspective. I think there's an argument for people back there as soon as they can, but again, like I said, we know why the situation is what it is, and we want to try and do the right thing in terms of the health of the nation. But for football, the quicker we can get supporters back, the better.
A lot's been made of the talk behind the scenes to have a top 6 with a bit more power in the Premier League in order to try and change things around a little bit. What's Brighton's take on it? What's your take on it?
Well, if you want Brighton's take, he's probably speaking to the wrong guy in terms of having the information. I'm just the head coach. I've got enough problems of my own to worry about the sort of financial state of the Premier League and our club. I think where we are now, it sounds like there's going to be a unified approach to solving a problem, which is the long-term sustainability of football. I think it's probably we're in the right place now. I think whatever we do, we have to try and do it together. I don't think you can solve things in ones and twos. So the quicker that we can establish that, the better. I think football, like every other industry at the moment, is going through pain. It's as simple as that, and the more we can do to help each other, whether that's crowds back in, because ultimately everybody's lost a huge part of their income, to a sustainable future for football.
Why are there so many goals in the Premier League so far this season? You must have looked at it and go, right, this is what I think's happening.
Well, no, I only look at our own. I have enough to worry about, just focusing on my own. I don't worry about anybody else's goals going in, unless they're against us. Again, I'm sure it's a combination of lots of things. Short break, not a long preparation time, no crowd. There'll be so many factors. For us, we're disappointed because we've conceded a few more than we'd like. We've also scored some, so we need to again improve in both boxes.
Does it? I'm trying not to sound glib here or daft. Knowing that there's so few clean sheets at the moment, does it change the way you approach a game at all at the moment? Because you can't go in thinking, "Oh, we're going to concede today." Obviously, you don't want to concede, but in reality, there's a heck of a lot of goals going. I just wonder if managers might be thinking, "I've got to tweak this a little bit because either we're letting in too many, or we need to be a bit more power go." I don't know. As a manager, I'm thinking I wouldn't know what the answer was.
No, I think you've got to look from our perspective. I can only speak for us. I don't know. I can't speak across the league. But from us, we played Newcastle. We kept a clean sheet. We've played Preston. We kept a clean sheet. We played Portsmouth. We kept a clean sheet. We've played Manchester United, Chelsea, and Everton, who are probably on a different level to us, and we've conceded goals. And that probably happens no matter where we are at any point in time. Is the reality. So we have to keep a sort of an eye on that as well about who we're playing. And it's a really small sample. We've only had 4 matches, I think. So you can go through periods where it happens like that, and it might just be that. Maybe in another 4 weeks' time, we're talking about something different. So maybe that's what we'll have a conversation about in 4 weeks' time.
I read that you don't enjoy watching penalties when your side's taking them. I'd imagine you'd have probably fainted if you'd have seen Neil Maupay try Panenka against Manchester United.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Thankfully, I didn't know that he was going to do that. Otherwise, I'd have stopped that. But I'd got to the point where I thought, no, I'll watch the floor instead of where it goes. But yeah, fair play to Neil. It's not something I'd try.
How impressed have you been with him? I was just saying to me, 4 league goals already this season. It took him 10 games to get to that. It's only taken him 4 games so far this season. Do you feel he's not necessarily a different player this season, but maybe taken that season to adapt to the Premier League?
Well, again, it's back to what I was talking about earlier. It's a normal process that you arrive from the Championship, and sometimes you hit the ground running, and sometimes you take a bit of time. I think he did probably a bit of both. That's normal. With a few players like that in our group that are adapting to the Premier League. But in terms of the signing that we've made with Neil and what he's contributed so far, we're obviously happy. But I think we know, and he knows, that he can carry on improving. That's exciting. That's where the work is. That's where the challenge is. But 4 goals, like you say, is a good return so far, and then it's just to continue that and help him improve.